All of those can be written off simply because you said the word Atlantis.
Hidden in the cliffs of Colorado lies a mystery that has puzzled archaeologists for centuries.
I think there's a lot of important lessons for us to learn by studying the past.
Mesa Verde, home to ancient cliff dwellings and secret tunnels, holds secrets waiting to be uncovered. Renowned researcher Graham Hancock has long been fascinated by this site.
That sense of home, enduring more than 850 years.
Suggesting that it could hold the key to understanding lost civilizations. Built around 550 AD, these structures were once home to the Puebloans, yet their sudden disappearance leaves us with more questions than answers. In this video, we dive into the enigma of Mesa Verde and explore the theories, including those of Hancock, that challenge everything we know about ancient history. The history of Mesa Verde. Thousands of years ago, the land we now call Mesa Verde was home to the ancestral Puebloans. These were people who lived in the Four Corners region of the southwestern United States, where Colorado, New Mexico, Utah, and Arizona meet. Around 550 AD, they began to build their homes here, in a place that seems impossible to live in. They were not just survivors, but innovators. They thrived as farmers, learning to grow crops in a dry, challenging environment. They grew corn, beans, and squash, perfecting dry farming techniques. At first, their homes were simple. They lived in pit houses, dug a few feet into the ground. These early homes offered shelter from the harsh weather, with roofs made of wood and mud. Over time, these pit houses evolved into more complex structures. The Puebloans began to build more permanent settlements. They moved away from the open plains and began constructing homes in the cliffs. This move marked a shift in their way of life. They stopped being nomadic and settled into small agricultural communities. The cliff dwellings of Mesa Verde were not just homes, they were fortresses. The cliff overhangs provided shelter from the elements and protection from enemies. These communities were carefully designed. The Puebloans used sandstone, wood, and mud to create structures that blended into the cliffs. Some of these homes were as high as 4 stories, with hundreds of rooms. The complexity and beauty of these structures speak to the skill and ingenuity of the people who built them. But the question remains, why did they choose such an isolated place?
Mesa Verde was recently named another international dark sky park for the exceptional quality of its star-filled nights.
Architecture of the cliff dwellings. The cliff dwellings of Mesa Verde are nothing short of extraordinary. These ancient homes were carefully constructed and designed to blend with the landscape. The Puebloans used the natural features of the cliffs to protect and shelter them from the harsh conditions. They built their homes under overhanging rock ledges where the cliffs provided a roof. The homes were made from sandstone, wood, and mud. The stone walls were strong, while the wood was used for beams and doors. Mud helped bind everything together, creating solid, durable structures. The design of the dwellings was just as remarkable as the materials. Many of the cliff dwellings were built in a step-back style. This meant that each level of the house was slightly smaller than the one below, creating a terraced effect. The upper levels of the dwelling sat above the lower ones, using the roofs of the lower levels as terraces. This design maximized the use of space, creating multi-story homes. Some of these dwellings had up to 4 stories, with as many as 1,000 rooms. Imagine living in a home that reached high into the cliffs, each floor connected by ladders and narrow doorways. The larger cliff dwellings, like Cliff Palace, were impressive for their size and layout. These homes were more than just places to live. They were communities. They included living spaces, ceremonial rooms, and even places for storing food. The kivas, circular rooms used for ceremonies, were a key part of the design. They were often built underground and had symbolic importance. These rooms show how much thought went into the dwellings. It wasn't just about shelter. It was about creating a space connecting people with their environment and beliefs. The cliff dwellings of Mesa Verde are architectural marvels, each one built with a deep understanding of the land and the people's needs. But the question remains, what drove the Puebloans to build in such a difficult location? Theories behind the cliff. Dwellings. Why did the Puebloans choose to build their homes high in the cliffs? It's a question that still puzzles archaeologists. Many believe the answer lies in the changing environment. Around the time the Puebloans began building the cliff dwellings, the climate started to shift. The area became much drier, and water sources became harder to find. Moving to the cliffs may have been a way to stay close to the limited water supply. The cliffs offered more than just shelter. They were a strategic location. Being up high provided safety. The cliffs made it harder for enemies to reach them. Some believe the Puebloans built in these isolated spots to protect themselves from possible attacks. But it wasn't just about defense. The cliffs also offered protection from the harsh winters. The overhanging rocks kept the cold winds away, and the homes stayed warmer. The land's natural features allowed the Puebloans to live in a way that worked with the environment, not against it. Another theory is that the cliff dwellings held spiritual significance. The Puebloans may have chosen these locations because they strongly connected to the land. Some believe that building into the cliffs helped them feel closer to the earth and their ancestors. While we may never know the full reason, it's clear that the Puebloans deeply understood their environment and built their homes with great care. Discovery of Mesa Verde. Mesa Verde's secrets remained hidden for centuries. Despite the immense history contained within its cliffs, the site was lost to time. Even early explorers missed it. Christopher Columbus never saw it. Neither did Spanish explorer Francisco Vázquez de Coronado, who passed through the region in the 1500s. It wasn't until much later that the first clues of the hidden dwellings were uncovered. In 1859, a photographer named William Henry Jackson, working with a local mine owner, stumbled across part of Mesa Verde. He took the first known photographs of the cliff dwellings, sparking interest. But the real discovery came nearly 3 decades later. In 1888, 2 cowboys, Charlie Mason and Richard Wetherell, were searching for stray cattle in southwestern Colorado. While searching, they stumbled upon the largest concentration of cliff dwellings ever found. They discovered what we now call Cliff Palace and other incredible sights. The discovery was thrilling, but also led to a period of looting. With this newfound interest, explorers and treasure hunters raided the sites, taking anything of value. In response, 2 women, Virginia McClure and Lucy Peabody, fought to protect the site. Their efforts eventually led to the creation of Mesa Verde National Park in 1906. Thanks to their determination, the park was preserved, and the incredible history of the Puebloans could be shared with the world. Artifacts and petroglyphs. As you wander through Mesa Verde, it's not just the buildings that tell a story. The artifacts and petroglyphs left behind by the Puebloans offer a glimpse into their daily lives. Many of the items found here are made with incredible skill. Beautiful black and white pottery, stone tools, and jewelry show how advanced the Puebloans were. The pottery in particular is stunning. It was functional and decorative, with intricate patterns that told a story of trade and culture. Beyond the pottery, there are the petroglyphs. These rock carvings, etched into the stone by the Puebloans, are some of the most mysterious elements of the site. You'll see spirals, animal tracks, and human figures. These images are thought to have deep meanings. Some may represent migration, while others could be connected to religious or ceremonial practices. One of the most famous panels is at Petroglyph Point, where the spiral motif is particularly prominent. Some experts interpret this spiral as a symbol of the Puebloans' journey, both physical and spiritual. These petroglyphs, along with the artifacts, are not just objects from the past. They are reminders of a culture that thrived here long before us. Today, removing these items from the park is illegal, protecting them for future generations to discover and learn from. Unsolved Mysteries of Mesa Verde. The cliff dwellings of Mesa Verde are a marvel, but many questions still linger. Perhaps the biggest mystery is why the Puebloans left. Around 1300 AD, they abandoned these incredible homes and moved south. What caused them to leave? Some experts believe it was a severe drought that made farming impossible. Others think that resources became scarce, and the area could no longer support the growing population. Another theory is that conflict with neighboring tribes may have driven them away. While we may never know the exact reason, the sudden departure adds an air of mystery to the site. Even the tunnels and hidden chambers in the cliff dwellings raise questions. Archaeologists are still unsure of their purpose. Were they used for storage, ceremonies, or something else entirely? These unanswered questions keep Mesa Verde shrouded in mystery. Despite centuries of research, discoveries are still being made. As technology advances, scientists hope to unlock more secrets. But for now, the puzzle of Mesa Verde remains, leaving us to wonder about the lives of the people who built such an incredible civilization and why they disappeared. Mesa Verde is a captivating ancient site in America, renowned for its stunning cliff dwellings and enigmatic tunnels. Despite extensive research, many secrets remain, such as the reasons behind the Puebloans' departure and the function of the tunnels. This ongoing mystery drives archaeologists in their quest for answers. The skills and deep connection of the Mesa Verde people to their land remind us of the civilization's lasting beauty and intrigue.